and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Kovas?
Here.
Trustee Clark?
Here.
Trustee Paul?
Chairman. This meeting will be recorded for informational purposes only. All comments will be in the meeting and limited to 2 minutes. If any resident has a question or comment, please raise your hand. You'll be recognized by the chair. Come to the podium, clearly state your name and address for the records. Multiple speakers at the same time will not be allowed.
Thank you. Okay, 12519 to accept the meeting minutes from the May 14th, 2009 regular meeting.
I'll move. I'll second.
Trustee Kovas?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Paul?
Yes.
12619 to authorize the fiscal officer to pay all outstanding invoices and approve all warrants issued occurred from June 11, 2019 through July 8, 2019.
Make the motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Kovas?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Paul?
12719 to accept the recommendation from Chief Lewis to have Hudson Communication LLC perform an outdoor warning siren, preventive maintenance, and functional tests, functional checks. And there's a quote attached. The quote says for $450, but we only have one, so it's actually $225.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Kovas?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Paul?
Yes.
12819 to approve road superintendent Chris Park as assistant to Chief Lewis for the management of the township for workers' compensation process beginning July 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019, with the payment of $1,000 to be paid on December 31st, 2019. Okay, so
I abstain.
He abstains, the motion dies. Okay, correspondence, copies are available upon request. Under the administration, the trustees will be meeting with the Trumbull County Commissioners on June 27th, 12 o'clock. They're having a joint meeting to go over some updates. Okay, also administration for correspondence letters and Trumbull County Street Fair is June 20th. Open ceremonies at 6 o'clock. It's June 20th, 21st, 22nd. And I also want to thank our road guys, police guys, and fire guys on the last flooding issue that we had going out. Within 15 minutes of a phone call, our guys were out there and they were on that. And I want to thank Robin Matheny for the hours that we spent to get the park thing with Jeannie, and we're all on the same page now. Just a big thank you for doing that. That's all I have. Ted, you got anything to admit that?
Yeah, the next council of government meeting is going to be Wednesday, July 10th at 7 p.m. at the Howland Township Administration Building. believe there's going to be some discussion about health insurance. Is one of the topics that's supposed to be on the agenda.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Okay. Fiscal officer.
I'm waiting to hear back from Huntington Bank on their policy for direct deposit, and once I hear back from that, then I will put together a township.
Okay.
Last month, May, we had a risk management insurance evaluation, so I am waiting to get the, results from that, because she went and visited the park and everything else to see what she had to say, if there was anything that, her recommendations on, if there was anything that needed our attention due to safety issues.
Thank you. Fire department, chief is on vacation. Ted, you got anything else?
No, it's just this monthly report.
Okay. Police department,
Just a monthly report, Mr. Chairman.
okay. And safety day.
Safety day is this Saturday, noon to 3 at Mosquito Lake State Park.
In the 75th anniversary of Mosquito Lake, that's from 9 to
9 to noon, I believe,
9 to noon.
prior to safety day. 9 to noon, and they're gonna give public walkthroughs of the dam building there, where they. The tower up there. The tower in the water. So if you've never seen the inside of the tower, they're gonna open it up to the public and let everybody have it.
Okay, nothing else, you guys, anything for Chris? Okay. Road department,
Yeah, I just have the award on for a resolution. Shelley and Sands is gonna be paving Beaver Trail. It's gonna commence around September sometime. We are gonna go for a grant next year for Wilshire Drive and part of, hopefully Wilshire Drive and part of Ivy Hill Lane. That's the real bad section. Other than that,
Ivy Hill what?
Ivy Hill Lane, just up to north and south. I'm getting a second quote on that. I don't know whether we'll have the money to do that portion, but we'll see.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 12919 to accept the award contract township road improvements. See the attached resolution is recommended by attorney Mark Fenimore.
I'll second.
Trustee Lewis?
Yes.
Trustee Clark?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Okay, planning director, zoning inspector, code enforcement officer, Pete.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have a copy of the report of the lists of permits issued for the month. 7 were issued during the last month. $440 was collected in the fiscal officer. We are presently still mowing three properties that have been considered nuisances. One, we were 4, now we're down to 3, but 1 is on the contract, so the new owner will take responsibility. If anyone has neighbors or you have complaints about it, please give me a call. If it's a lawn that's not been mowed for 30 days, I mean, if your neighbor, went away for a weekend and you don't like it, that's not really what we're looking at. But those that haven't been touched at all, noxious weeds, garbage, things, the houses are falling apart, please give me a call. I do make rounds throughout the township, but I drive by and I catch everyone. I spoke with Julios regarding the runoff from the new construction. And I've had inquiries on the property at the southeast corner of Black Stub and 305 regarding commercial development. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, you guys can move. Okay, move on to zoning commission, zoning board of appeals. When's the next meeting? July 10th?
Yes.
Next meeting is July 10th at 6 p.m. And the other thing we have there, we're going to add this resolution of 13019 to accept the resignation letter from Chuck Sayers on the zoning commission effective as of June 11th, 2019.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Hood,
Yes.
trustee Clark,
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, we are in need of a new member and an alternate, so if anyone in the audience is interested, let the trustees know if you're interested in being on the zoning board.
Okay, Park and Recreation Board, their meeting agenda and minutes from their May 21st meeting 2019 is attached. We're going to have a resolution. We're going to add on. There's no number. We got to back up. We got a resolution. Yeah. Okay, 60. Yep, no, we're gonna get 13119, which was a recommendation by the park board, which we're gonna proceed with. So we're gonna move the 13119 to hire Play by Design LLC at a cost of $1567.38 plus a motel stay to inspect Imagination Station for safety and development plan. Whether we got to renovate, replace sections of the playground in phases over the next 3 to 5 years, and the cost will be paid for out of the donation fundraiser.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
trustee Hood,
Yes.
trustee Clark,
Yes.
trustee Clark.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to add another one. 13219 is to move $25,230.00 from the general fund to the park fundraising donations. And the reason why this is the money it's always in the general fund. But when Jeannie started the new system, we have a separate line item for fundraising money. We started one in the old system, but it doesn't matter. We're going to the new system, so it's all in there. So I need a motion on that.
I'll second.
Trustee Hood,
Yes.
trustee Clark,
Yes.
Okay, nobody asked to be placed on the agenda, so we'll open for public comment.
Kind of comment on today's part wise, where you want.
Sure.
We just want to kind of clarify for everybody, we're thanking you guys for coming to our last meeting, that the general fund will support the maintenance costs and parks moving forward. We're very appreciative of that. We, think that's what our kind of core mission as a board, fundraising for improvements. And as part of, we've been basically keeping it open, but haven't really done a lot of improvements to the facilities. So we're glad we can focus back on that. Just the company we talked to thought they'd be able to get out by the end of July to perform that. Play by Design, but sometime in July, no later than the end of July, they could get out and do that assessment on the Imagination Station. And then we had just wanted to say the way we kind of proposed as a resolution, our minutes, we didn't know that some trustees should vote on too, but just so that the public knows that we performing more fundraisers, that money's now going to improvements and not operations of the park. Is that something we could have that you should vote on as trustees, or that we vote on it as the park board, which is something that you guys should have the whole resolution at the trustee level also?
Well, actually, last year when we created that line item for fundraiser, it's already created, and now you have another one. So the resolution's already been passed.
Okay.
But it wasn't until May, and then Rita left in June. So that's why there was no money, and now we got the new system, which Jeannie has that line item there.
So we just want to make sure that like we're clear in the public clear that if we want a fundraiser, which we try to do one every year, that money's going to picnic tables, to improvements, to whatever we did to do the Imagination Station.
Yeah, probably the best scenario then is from your board is to make a recommendation. We want to buy 10 picnic tables and replace 5 swing sets. Estimated cost is here, and we want to use it out of the fundraising account, or we're having a fundraiser for those particular items, and then we'll pass something at that time.
But we just feel like it's really important us to be accountable to if people come to a fundraiser and donate,
Right.
that we can show them this is what we donated, this is what we did.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, give us the total now that'll be in, so everybody knows the total that'll be in our account, total.
This was the number minus what you already had. No, well, this
Total balance.
this total, this, you had 5,001, so I subtracted it. So the total, once we move that in, will be 30,396. We added, sure, it's 30,397.53.
30,397.53.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else
I'm good.
from the park board?
We're good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll open it to public comment. Come on up.
My address,
Yes, please.
2534 Davis Pack Road. Mr. Webb, what is your dysfunction with my husband?
Dysfunction with your husband.
Then last meeting, you and Mr. Hovis said you were gonna make this right. So what's the dysfunction?
Second thoughts.
What was the thoughts?
The conversation that we had with the person who is now taking on the responsibility to be the coordinator is taking on the full responsibility of that. And there's no more committee.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you. Next public comment.
Wow. Yeah, I do. I
Hold on.
Oh, did somebody else speak up? It was just the same subject, that's why.
My name is Gary Zuga, I live at 1165 Wilson. Is anybody aware of a Dollar General coming on the corner of 305 and Center?
Not that I know. You heard anything, Pete?
I've had inquiries on the property.
Southeast corner?
Yeah.
Well, I see that they're surveying it now.
Yes.
And I just want to make a comment that if you look at most of the Dollar Generals are pretty plain. If you go to Howland and look at their Dollar Generals, they've got a different design because Howland wants their place to look good. I would suggest if they do come through, that you guys adopt what Howland did with gable roofs, porch, different kind of siding. Because our township's no different than Howland, ain't no, you know,
We're
So I would-
ruled differently though.
what's that?
We're ruled different. They have home rule. They can actually create ordinances that regulate type of construction, signage, things like that. Where Bazetta Township does not have home rule.
Why do they have home rule? So we can't do it?
And they offer 15,000.
So you can't recommend to them that they do the same kind of design as ours. I mean, it's for the township, right?
Yeah.
I just think
I
that,
mean, we'd have, to answer his bill, we'd have to change our zoning, right?
Right, that would have to be done in advance. You can't do it
So that's
while it's in the process. I mean, it'll come in for plan review. So, I mean, when they do submit plans for a zoning permit, if in fact that's who it is, which, you know, that there's,
that's what,
yeah.
they talked to me too, but I was just saying that, you know, if you look at Howland, they look pretty decent, okay? We shouldn't be any different than the other communities, particularly with the stuff we got going on Elm Road and those kinds of things. I mean, fairgrounds, they go by that every day, you know, when they go there, so. This is a recommendation.
okay. Thank you. This is,
It's 3247 Pheasant Run Road today. I'm very unhappy with what you just did, Ted, and you know I'd be the first one to speak up. I think you, I don't know what the fire chief would say, but I guarantee you he wouldn't burn a fellow employee. I'm going to tell you that in the public. He's not here to say anything, but I am his mother, and I will tell you, he would never burn a fellow employee like you just insinuated he did.
I will speak to Dennis when he gets back into town. I didn't know that this was going to be a resolution for this meeting. He'd already left town, so.
Yeah, he's on vacation, but the way you the way you said it to this public is that Dennis burnt Chris, or the fire chief burnt Chris. That isn't what he would do. We all know it.
Thank you. Next public comment.
Stephen Anthony, 2511 Bridgeville Hill Road. I have an email dated January 18th, 2019 from your legal counsel, David Comstock. There was a question about, after we concluded bargaining for the contract for the road department, about some of the language, and this is pertaining to the PWC committee, specifically what the department heads get paid. I'll read you a part of this email. The board intends to eliminate compensation for the committee, and I advised of the fact during the discussion on the issue. You replied that if the other department heads were to be compensated at some future date, the road department supervisor would be entitled to the same compensation. I agree. So what you guys just did, I'm going to take that as bad faith bargaining, because based on that conversation that I have in my email that Ted Webb and Paul Hovis with carbon copy on, along with Mr. Park, you guys just went against your word. So we agreed to something in bargaining, and then you backwards. So I'm going to take that as bad faith bargaining and do what I need to do forward. Thanks.
Thank you. One more public comment.
I'm Nancy White Foley. I live on 2441 Wilshire Drive. I've lived there since 1974. I have never seen our road in the condition that it's in. I go to Florida in the wintertime, and some others can vouch for this. When I come home, there's a sinkhole in my road. Fortunately, I didn't have to drive through it because it's further down around the bend. But I was walking down there and I watched a van go in that sinkhole. And that sinkhole was every bit this deep and every bit 3 foot wide. I called the road department. They would very graciously come out and fill it with stuff. The stuff's not going to hold. I cannot believe that you're not doing our road this year. Our road has not been touched since 1993. I know these Timber Creek roads have been touched since ours. And I think you're way past time to get our road. I think our road should be fixed this year, not next year.
Beaver Trail, the last time it was repaved for any paving project, section number 2, 1990.
How about 2007?
How about 1990?
2007 would have been PDR.
2007 was PDR and $40,000 worth of paving. We're going to cover right now.
The best of my knowledge, our road is,
Your road is
and it
absolutely.
really needs attention. I cannot believe it's been left go this long. I've been there a long time, been paying taxes a long time. There's several of us here for the same reason.
If you go up the street there, there's a hunk of base coming out through the.
Yes, our road is really bad. It's not gonna make it much through the winter either. Those holes are gonna come right back out. I'll be in Florida, but they won't be. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. I think she said that was part of,
We can't even drive it.
if the money's
I know,
available.
we can't come down the road with that speed because of the hole.
We do, right.
And I can't, and this is still bound to do a part.
Chris, can you get some engineering?
May 9th, I already started engineering on that project. I touched base with the county, just a few days ago, when they called me to see if I wanted any engineering done. So I re-forwarded them the email that I sent for engineering from May 9th, and this was, probably Monday, Tuesday. No, it was Monday or Friday, sorry. Monday or Friday, it's been over a month.
Thank you. But you'll do a follow-up.
Yes, sir, I will.
Thank you.
I'm Jim Salaz, I live on Ivy Hill Circle. I'd like to echo the comments of a resident from Wilshire speaking for the Burnett Drive leading into the Ivy Hill area. That's just a short stretch of road there that's in horrible condition, getting worse every day. Certainly hope somebody takes a look at that. There are a lot of condos back there, and there's a lot of voters. Hopefully people start keeping those things in mind. It's ridiculous getting back there. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Shauna White. I live at 2484 Wilshire Drive. I've lived on this road my whole life. I bought a house on this road because my whole family lives on it. The roads are so bad to the point where the grades do not sit in the road. And the grades are falling down and it's causing our whole road to flood, which is causing problems for my personal house because the roads are flooding so bad because there's nowhere for the water to go because the grades are all the way down. There is grass growing in the middle of the road because there's no curb or anything keeping the road in place. Constant draining, constant problems. I've been a friend. My daughter cannot ride her bike because there's potholes everywhere. My child should live on a dead end road where she can't play. No reason. And it's not a high traffic area, it's just neglected.
Thank you. Any other public comments?
My name's Anna Baker. I live at 2361 Wilshire Drive, Portland, Ohio, 44110. Ongoing topic of our road, it's obvious, Mr. Superintendent, that you're aware. My question is, if we don't get the grant, are we being considered for repairs? And a proper repair. You can pave over and cold patch that corner all you want, but that water's coming in and it's caving in, and sooner or later, to repair is gonna have to be as much as what you're throwing cold patch in there every couple weeks, so we need to fix that right.
Yeah.
We do appreciate the services and snow plowing and whatnot, but you can't put a Band-Aid on every big gaping wound.
Right. Chris will get with the county and hopefully by the next meeting, we should have an answer. We can argue more at that point.
I had the same questions as her.
Okay. Any other public comment?
Yeah. I'm Jim Boyle from Wilshire Drive, 441. Not only the street, but behind our house, we have a problem. Two establishments have been able to elevate their land, causing us to flood behind us. I've got water coming up about 10 feet from our place right now since the last rain. And because of that elevation, someone's got to check that back there and try to find out how to get rid of that water. Because it's coming up into, is it 10 feet from our garage?
I believe that's, he's speaking of the Elm Road side. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I've heard of the problem back there on that.
Correct. And it's really going to be a problem.
This is behind your house?
Yes. It's
There
behind
used to
our
be
house
a
on the-
ditch, there used to be a pretty good sized ditch down.
No.
No, Elm Road side.
No, the Elm Road, the Elm Road side.
Oh,
The two businesses have elevated their land and causing water to divert towards us, and it's elevating the flooding area. The whole lane behind us has got about that much water. I got pictures of it.
Is that something you think we need to get control of soil water?
I don't know that. I'd almost say it's simple. I don't know that.
are you on the same side as Mrs. White?
Yes, that's my husband.
Well, there was a ditch up through the back of that goes.
No.
My
The other
side.
side.
That's my dad's house.
On the other side.
I'm gonna tell you, back 40-some years ago, there was a ditch all the way down.
40 years ago.
I've only been there for
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
have changed in 40 years.
I've been there.
We've been
Somebody
there,
can check
we've
that
been there
out.
more than 40
It's
now.
causing problems with
No.
water.
Yeah, there used to be
He's on the
when
right
they,
side
when
of
they
the road.
first constructed that, there was a ditch on each side of that.
I've been there, she's been there even.
Scott White, 2477 Low Shore Drive. I have lived there my whole life, maybe a year or two when I moved away. I purchased Perry's old house, and before that, it was November's old house, when you're talking supposedly a ditch. I've lived there my whole life. With my mother before I lived, where I'm at
Your
now.
mother lived at Vida's old house.
No, next door to my dad.
Next door.
My mother lives in Thurman's old house. So that shows you how long we've been there, since they were built. There's never been a ditch back there. I played back there as a kid. No ditch.
It was like,
However,
it was like a swale.
if you want to go all the way back, where net pools raised there 6-8 feet, that was just a little bit, nothing big. Then you had the storage units come in and they raised theirs, blocked the
Wipe
way.
it all up. I know.
Now Kenny has his 20, 30 feet above where it should be, 20 or 30 feet. Kenny Flat, he's added all that dirt. I have no problem with Kenny. The only problem I had is when he's dumping the manure in there. But now we're getting water. I mean, he was mixing it with human waste. And you guys they were letting him do it. I mean, the fire chief had the EPA out there. I mean, he did his due diligence, but nothing's ever become of it. I mean, that's a different case he brought up, but our road's deplorable.
Yeah,
And she said, patch it, that's an understatement.
yeah.
The problem is it doesn't drain water.
That's right.
If it doesn't drain water, it holds water. Our road and Fowlet or whatever it is, those are two roads that hold water. I drive down Beaver Trail daily. There's no water on that road. Zero. It drains. We got big ditches to both sides, but we're skipped over. We've been being skipped over. Last time we were done, 93? It's my guess. I remember walking across it barefooted as a kid after they did it. That's ridiculous. It's
Yeah,
way too long.
we put drainage in up along through the center of the road.
You put a few drains, and you know where they go? To the big ditch you're talking about on the
Right.
other side.
Right,
And if we, as residents, don't keep them cleaned out, it doesn't drain.
right, because that's a minus mode of water back in.
Shannon Elliott bought the house down on the corner adjacent to my mother's. Amazing. It looks immaculate. But your road makes it look like shit. His value is nothing. It's deplorable. I mean, he did
I agree with you.
wonders down there, and we're doing nothing about it. I don't understand why. I think why are we getting skipped over for Beaver Trail? Is my guess.
You're gonna see trustees.
I certainly hope so. I mean, I haven't been here active in your meetings. I watch them on the internet. I work too much to be coming in here every 5 minutes, but I made a point to come in. This one, you guys gotta do something. I mean, emergency vehicles have a hard time getting there. If my 4-wheel drive, I won't take down there because the road's so bad down at the other end.
Well, he's getting engineering, so by next meeting, we should have an answer.
That's fine. It just, as long as something gets done. I mean, 93, that's a long time. I mean, you can't even tar and chip it. Yeah, I walked across it. It was good for a good many years, but
We shut all the E-drains off.
I bet you our township employees, as good as they are, use a trailer or 2 trailers to fill in potholes bi-monthly down our road.
Yeah, I went down,
It's
I drove
crazy.
down there after we had gotten some complaints, and I know Frank's been down there, Chris has talked about it.
I've talked to Chris a few times.
When we let him get some engineering, and by next meeting, we'll.
There ain't much you can do when your hands are tied. You guys gotta do something as a board. You gotta do something as our trustees.
When we put that water, the storm sewer down the center of the road, we closed off all the E-drains that come out on the road. We tied them into all that pipe.
Tied all our drains into the pipe that goes into the ditch. I understand that.
And I see.
But you
now-
guys have no rights to cleaning the ditch out next to it, so how are you gonna get the drain out efficiently? I mean, how is that a solution? I think that was maybe the problem, the start of the problem.
Well, back as far as where the big creek comes into that ditch that we cleaned out years ago, that was almost a minus mode. It's almost level. So, and I know by now, it's probably more snow, so.
Stacking up.
And they don't own the property, I mean, it's not like they can get back there and clean it.
Well, we're not allowed off the road.
That's my point. So what's our solution?
I think we can.
Not the, I'm not complaining about my neighbor, I love my neighbor. Carbone's house, this is way before the new owners have bought it.
Yeah.
Way back when Carbone put their downspouts into the yard, guess where it goes?
Down the road.
In my house. Guess whose cell phone runs every minute and 7 seconds? Mine does. Now, he has nowhere to put it. There's no drainage. He can't put it anywhere else. I'm not blaming them. But there's something that has to be done with drainage on our street.
I don't know.
If you don't get rid of the water, you're not gonna get rid of the road.
When you get out of the county, can you see, maybe Gary or whatever, and see what they can do back in there? Or what we all,
It's all private property back in there.
I own it.
and they're just like we are.
Between land and myself, we own all the woods
Cannot spend
behind my
taxpayer money
parents,
on private property.
all the way down to my sisters. Now, we're getting I played back there as a kid, we never had that water. We're getting that water from the Walmart bill, all this. It's all a big, huge thing. But Kenny raising his property 20 feet higher than it should be? I mean, come on, where's the water supposed to go? There ain't no water on his property, I bet.
Well, we can get them involved too.
Very close to my garage now.
Yeah, it's all the way up in her garage.
Yeah.
The road is just so poor. I mean, it used to flow to the drains and it used to drain out pretty fair. Probably actually kept the road out.
Those drains still do drain.
I understand, but what I'm saying is, if I go and throw, it's two-sided, it's two double-ended.
Double-edged sword.
I can do a road project, and we could probably afford it. When I go in and add a bunch of drainage to it and curbing, which it needs it.
I'm not gonna argue with it.
Yeah. New curbing, new catch basin, new curb boxes and everything, and where am I gonna put the water? I'm still gonna run it right there because it's the only place for that
Wants to
water.
go. But if it was extended further, your catch basin stopped at Bayless. She's right here. That's the last catch basin. The
Down,
first one
up from Romans, a couple houses.
yes. Oh, no, way more than a couple houses. There's a house before my sister's and after my mother's.
Yeah, but there's one down around the corner too. On
One's
that,
just
on that,
laying.
Is there one down further? Anyone else have one further than Bayless?
yeah, there is.
Because that water just sets it.
It's level.
Yeah, it is, but it's
Something really level.
But here's the only thing I can say. Let's get with the county, we'll get with Trumbull Soil Water, we'll come out there and we'll look at it by the next meeting. We'll have some sort of
Some kind
direction
of
on where we're
sort
going.
of, I'm happy with that as long as something happens with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, the way the road looks in front of my parents, Baylor's, Elliott's, that
You
corner,
know me long enough. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it.
I'm surprised they're not sending you suspension notes to their vehicles. I really am, because it's that bad.
Okay.
I mean, you know how expensive that is.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
We cannot even ride it down the street though.
No, we leaves in and out.
ULBRICHT,
Oh, hold on.
ULBRI,
I can't hear you, go ahead.
ULB, as in boy, RIC as in cat, HT. You gotta go. Anyhow, we're talking water from blacktop areas like storage facility over on, Warren Meadville that drains right into Bill Harris's property, and he has a lake there a lot. Just, can you not do any more blacktop?
Okay.
No, I mean, and that's the problem, is it doesn't soak into the ground.
Any other public comments? Bob, go ahead. Dan.
I live at 2351 Wilshire. Nothing said about the road, but I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, the fire hydrant in my front yard was leaking.
and it ruined my front yard, had planted grass and everything again. I think it's leaking again. It's all wet around that fire hydrant again. Today I noticed. And I'd like to have that checked if that's possible.
2351, you said?
2351.
That's, the chief is out of town, but we'll get a hold of, we get that one guys down and check it.
One of my guys.
Fire guys,
The fire,
fire guys, oh, pretty much, yeah.
at least I wish I found the checks.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was that one on? Okay, we'll check into that for you.
Okay,
Thank you. Okay, any other public comment?
Matthew Halula, 2325 Wilshire Drive. Obviously, we've all heard the condition of the road. I actually sent out a letter to everyone on 2325, or on Wilshire, just to try to get them out here to voice our concern. It was mentioned earlier, the grant. I guess my question is, following that one, ladies, if it doesn't pass, are we still gonna get our road done? Also, I know you had a levy on the last election or whenever it was. Is there another future levy potentially in the process of happening? If so, is that going to guarantee that the road project gets done? So I guess these are my questions with the grant. That's a big what if. We need a guarantee. It's been since 1993. I haven't lived there for more than 4 months, and obviously they have been there their whole lives, but I'm just as concerned, and I've only been there 4 months. And then with the levy, I mean, obviously that's just, if it votes, does it go through? But even if it doesn't, something still needs to be done. So figure out how to get the budget in there to do it, because obviously it's been, 17, 18 years. It needs to happen. Or he has not budgeting accordingly to get these roads fixed appropriately at the time. Thank you.
The levy is talking about the general fund, is that included in the general fund?
Yeah, Ted, no,
No, it's not?
no.
That's something different.
We'll address the levy first. The levy was a 3 mil levy that was gonna cost a $100,000 home, approximately $105 a year. It would have raised over the 5-year period, a little more than $2 million. We had a survey done, Superintendent Park had a survey done of what it would cost to do every road in Bazetta Township. It was about $3 million, maybe a little more, depending on whether we chip and sealed some roads or whether we blacktop those roads. If we blacktopped them, it came to almost $4 million. So when the levy failed, this poor man is trying to maintain the roads in front of your house on a $380,000 a year budget. It don't go very far. I mean, he's lucky to mow yards and clean out some ditches at the very best, do some coal patching, and get the salt for the winter. There's nothing in the budget that we can afford to pave these kind of roads. To do Wilshire right now, from the latest survey from the Trumbull County Engineer's Office, it's about $105,000.
That's just paving.
That's just paving. That's not doing repair work that's going to be required. It's probably going to be close to double that. So where do we get the money? I mean, right now, the average home in Bazetta Township is paying $2,000 in property tax. About 22% of that money actually comes to the township. So $440 comes to Bazetta Township with your property tax. The way that breaks down, the fire department gets about 41% of that money. The police department gets about 38% of that money. The road department, I believe, gets about 9%, maybe 10%. So you're asking that gentleman down at the end to keep your road maintained for $44 a year. That's all he's getting. You can't even have that snow plowed by an individual 5 times a year in front of your house for $44. You can get your driveway done maybe twice. So this is the dilemma that the township's in. We understand that our roads are deplorable. Not only Wilshire, but right now, there are 8 roads that have not been paved since 1995. 5 of them are in Timber Creek. Wilshire is one of them outside the Timber Creek. And the Ivy Hill A and B outside Timber Creek. So it's not just your community, it's the entire township that we're having issues with. The only way we got some of our roads paved is that the residents had sewer lines put in. They were mandated to connect, to get sewer lines put in. And during that project, the sewer line, the people that were putting in the sewer lines paved some of the roads with like a top patch. They didn't go down the 1.5 or 2 inches. They just glazed it. Now those roads are about 7, 8, 9 years old, and they're starting to fall apart. Mr. Park would like to have the roads in a 15-year cycle. We've got roads here that are approaching 30-year cycles, and no way to really address the issue unless there's a levy that's passed by a committee such as yours to get out there and bang on doors to try and get this levy passed. That levy that was on the ballot last fall, it did pass in Timber Creek and Timber Creek Heights. It did pass in Ivy Hill, but those are only 2 portions of our community. Where it's not passing is on the west side of the lake, where they are driving on state roads or county roads and don't see the need to pave or repair the township roads. We have almost 21 miles of township roads. Like I said before, if we had to repave them all, we're looking at somewhere between $3 and $4 million. Township doesn't have it. So that's what we're up against. I hope I tried to make it as clear as possible, but we need community support to get these levies passed.
Can I say something after you're done?
Sure.
There is a thing called a SAD. And I know that's terrible sounding, but if you folks wanted to, I have paperwork for a special assessment district. And what I would have to do is I'd have to have engineering done. And if I was gonna do it down there, it would be for Burnett Drive, it would be for Wilshire Drive, it would be for Ivy Hill Lane, north and south. And we could fix a lot of the curbing and all of those issues. I would like to get rid of that double strip on Burnett Drive, so I would put in a turning lane there for the hospital, if it's on the road. It has to have, I believe, 60% of the signatures. And any of the tax dollars would be only spent down in your district. That's all that it could do. So your dollars would be your dollars. And they couldn't be spent on another road down in Timber Creek or Westlake or Lakeshore. But I can fix, if you guys come to the next meeting. Well, I have the paperwork, but I don't have the proper tax lot numbers and every parcel IDs and all that. I'd have to have the county or an attorney get to work on that, but I can do that for you. So if that's what you want to do. I think the best bet would to do, best bang for your tax-paying dollars would to, unfortunately, just be patient. We'll see what this new gas tax money is going to give us. There's new gas tax going to come out from July, and that's going to give us about $50,000 more. Now, I can do a lot of work with $50,000 towards grants, okay? And you guys have the traffic count down there to get a decent one. Maybe not Wilshire Drive so much, but if I could, that would be the way to do it. But I specifically didn't do any projects this year. I didn't know how much money I was gonna get with the new tax that we're gonna get for gas. And whatever I saved from this year on not doing anything, usually I try to seal chip something, that will be put towards next year's project. So I'll have more money for the project. And I'll know a lot more by the end of the year when we get our monies from the state.
Just one question. One question to that. Are we considered like one community since we have one entrance and one exit to the whole facility?
There's a whole other thing too. The state, they only give me funding for 2 lanes. So out front, Burnett, I only get 2 lanes. That's all they fund me for. But I got 4 lanes. I got 4 lanes there.
I have 4 lanes down Millennium Boulevard. They only fund me for 2. And they only pay half of the cul-de-sacs anymore. So the other half, they literally shortened me up, and I went on Google Maps and I measured everything. And I gained a little, but I lost some too. So, I mean, that's my plan. If it doesn't work out, you folks can always go with the special assessment district. It does require a lot of signatures and a lot of footwork, but it can only be used in your community. That's all I have.
Where would that money come from?
Taxpayers. That, if you live down in there, it would be a special assessment district. And that money you would still pay your regular taxes, but it would, I don't know, when we did it for Timber Street, Mr. Webb.
Yeah, it's gonna be
$3,000 a home.
Over 10 years.
10-year period.
So it's $300.
3,000 a year for
10
years. For 10 years.
Does
Walmart pay anything?
300 a year for 10 years for home.
They do not pay nothing. Well, they pay taxes, but
They're the ones though that have all the blacktop and stuff. So when we say, hey, yeah, come in, can't we charge them somehow more of what's going to happen down the road with the fact the water's going to drain and all of your neighbors?
I really wish I could. Now their drainage is their drainage. They have their own drainage, but yeah.
But it's still black, sorry.
But it does have a high traffic count, and I should be able to get a really successful grant on that. That's about 11,000 a day now, 1,000 a day.
Okay, I'd like to thank all you folks from Wilshire coming in. We understand that there's an issue down there. Chris will get some engineering done by the next meeting. Hopefully we have an answer on what direction the township's gonna take. And if you want information on the SAD, you can call the road department and Chris will meet with you and go over that. And you guys can address that as well, but still gonna need engineering to get a total cost for that project as well. And then one thing,
there is going to be a renewal levy on the ballot this fall. It's a 0.6 mil. It does not generate a whole lot of money for Chris. I think it brings in about $18,000 to $20,000, somewhere around there.
I believe it's a lot higher than that.
It's like, I know a mill
Yeah,
will
it's like
bring in 160,
60, about 70,000, something like that. But it goes down every year too.
And so please keep that in mind when you go to the polls in November. It is a renewal, your taxes aren't going to go up, and it's desperately needed by the road department. So that would certainly help.
Sweet.
I just have one last question. You stated how much it would cost to redo Wilshire.
Yes.
What's it costing you to redo the Beaver Road?
It's a $107,000 project, I think, and the county's going to put in about 46,000 towards that project. So it's about around 45,000. So it's costing Bazetta Township around.
Why is the county putting money into their road, not our
Ted,
road?
I can answer
Go ahead.
It's OPWC grant was $58,000. The local, which I got a loan on because we couldn't pay for $50,013.96. And then $5,500 that the county charges for their engineering on it, they give that as in-kind service to the township for free. So we're gonna pay, I don't know, 108,000 divided, or 50,000 over whatever the useful life of the project is, over a 12-year, 15-year period, something like that.
It was an interest-free loan.
It is an interest-free loan. Whatever the engineer's statement says it's good for.
So roughly about 150,000 altogether.
16
With their money
years.
and our money.
Over 16 years. 50,000 paid back over 16 years.
But you add all that together, it's still more money than it would have cost to do Wilshire. Okay? And I just have a hard time understanding why you're doing a road that's in far better condition than our road and why our road wasn't done before that road. That's all.
What went into your choice of roads?
Yeah, why did that get chosen over ours?
2 roads hold water and 1 doesn't. How did that get picked over the 2 roads that hold water? How do we fix that?
With the Beaver Trail project, it was a traffic count as well as the engineering study, and it came in at a total cost of $107,000, of which it qualified for a $50,000 loan, and they're picking up $50,000 from the county. So basically, we're getting Beaver Trail paid for $50,000 at a payment of about $3,800 a year over the life of the road.
And we're paying for that. And did they do a traffic study for us?
They did.
And there will be a traffic study.
But there wasn't one.
Oh, there will,
Not yet.
there will be a traffic.
There will be. And when you see the black rubber strips out,
Last year, somebody was there doing it. I don't know who, but somebody had them on our, that's there's a difference
More
between
traffic
2 roads.
gets
One's
better
a
off.
through traffic, one's a through road, people cut through to go to the top, and one's a dead end. That's where you get your traffic out. Sounds like always. What do we owe on ours tonight?
I go till 2023.
How much?
Payments of 30, 138.
You need to deal with her, because she didn't know anything.
Oh, they'll send a bill. Well, I'm sure she's already gotten one.
All right, because I don't want to get over it.
No, they sent those out.
Okay, so I want to, would there be a way to maybe set up a meeting with Chris with, I mean, there's a lot of us in Timber Creek too. I mean, but our roads are maybe not better, but they're not great either. Where we could get information about the whole SAD thing, we could ask the questions.
I have yours for Timber Creek.
But I mean, where we could advertise for residents if they want to come, so that, you know, if somebody decides, you know, we've talked about a couple of Beaver Trail too. If we want to go knock on doors, that, you know, we can say, hey, come to this meeting, ask your question in a public forum from the right people who know what we're talking about. That's what we can possibly set up.
Yeah, I can give you a list of about 10 people that was willing to pay for it themselves. So I'm sure they would want to help.
Yeah,
I just thought that there's one meeting, all the questions are asked at one time, instead of just, you know, all talking to the neighborhood, maybe getting things in, be correct, or it would be never just get factual information out to both communities. Because it's not, I mean, obviously their road sound worse than ours. I mean, we have a lot of problems too. My daughters can't ride their bike for longer either.
Yeah, they want to pay for it themselves. The rich people pay for it, or we're glad.
yeah, anytime. Just call up Robin or email me your information. It's on the website. Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the answer?
Okay, we're gonna go into executive session. All right, go ahead, Bob.
Okay, not to change the subject anyways, but, so what's going on with the cemetery and the building?
Waiting on an architect to bring the stuff back and you'll see everything go out for bid, just like the last week.
As though everything's just gonna go out for bid?
Everything's going as one package.
One package, okay. And I wanted to tell Chris, there is a dead tree on Perkins Jones Road in the right of way, way out there.
We'll have to talk to the county on that one.
Oh, that's their road, okay. All right, I just noticed it today, I didn't know. On there. And, how much actually did we get for insurance for all the damages and everything? How many checks did you get? You haven't got any yet?
We have gotten some, about 110,000.
Okay. Are you expecting more?
Yep.
Okay. And I'm a little lost on this thing with Chris and back and forth about the workers' comp getting paid this money. Do you guys want to elaborate more for the public to know what we're arguing about this? Is that $1,000 or $2,000? What are they getting? Why are they getting this money in the first place for? Is this to go to those meetings like I go to? Or what are they getting this extra money for?
To administrate BWC. When I first got elected, this township was paying $106,000 in BWC.
Okay.
So through business, you know, you go to these and you get in these drug-free workplace, this and that.
Right,
Okay, so you get into these and you start saving money.
right.
3-4 years ago, it went down to 26,000 total. So that's an $80,000 savings.
Okay.
So we put the department heads in charge of doing that, administrating it, because as you well know, owning your own business, plus trustee stuff, plus BWC stuff, it takes a lot of time. So we took some of the savings and paid these guys to administrate and educate everybody about these policies. And
Well, you mean to come back to their employees and tell them?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
well, we
Chris
do
was on the
all the
committee, so-
programs. We do the drug freedom safety program. We do the ISSB, which is industry specific. We do accident analysis. We do trans work. We do it all. I mean, we administrate it. We were in charge of our own departments. We've streamlined it. You can ask Mike Hovis.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So is it any different than what I have to do as a business owner or you have to do?
Well,
That
it
they're
depends
doing?
if you're in the same programs as we are. You know, it's a little different for public. It's,
public, you only gotta be in about 5 different programs to get the discounts. that
you
these
got to
guys
go
do.
green discount. I mean,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of programs.
There's
Well,
discounts that the government entities are getting that we don't get.
Well, I guess, but what I'm saying is what they do, the chief and Chris, is basically on their time when they're working. Is this correct? Like during the day? Like,
Meetings are during the day, yeah.
right, I've seen him at the meetings. You go to the meetings, but what I'm saying, they come back and he does this stuff on township time, basically, correct? And I don't understand why all of a sudden now it's almost like the same thing when we got into the fire chief a couple of weeks ago, where now we're giving them more money and they're in an elected position as a supervisor. Now we have to pay them even more money to do something that they should be already doing, I feel, as being a super. You know what I'm saying? Would you follow me? I'm just saying,
I
it don't
can tell
make
you,
sense to me.
I can tell you that the department heads at the time, was willing to take on, that's not in their job title. Okay, and they were willing to take it on for this added bonus, okay? I'm not doing it.
So
There's no
what-
other trustee here gonna do it, and any new trustees coming in ain't gonna do it either.
Well, what you're telling me though is then they could have just like, if you came and you came back to them, you said, all right, fire chief, you have to go to this to save the township money with your employees. They could just tell you, no, I'm not doing it unless I get more money. Is that what you're telling me? And the same for the
if
road?
I can- if
I'm
I
talking
can-
to him.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I just want to know if that's, like we're having a gun held to our heads that every time something gets done in this township.
No, it's called, when you
costs us
say,
money.
when you go from 106,000 because you guys got people educating to drop to 26.
Right,
And you keep your guys safety free,
right.
that you should be compensated something.
Well,
There's
does
never
all
an
the
issue
employees
about
get
all-
compensated for this?
Excuse me?
All the employees?
No,
The three
they
in
come
the
to a
park?
safety, meeting or, department heads, take their department heads and get them trained on this, and this, just like chainsaws and everything else, just like your business. It's no different.
Okay.
If you don't do it, programs, you get booted out.
Oh, right. Well, even if you have so many comp claims, you get booted out whether you do it or not. Okay? So you have too many comp claims, then you have to, because.
You ain't gotta tell me anything about
Well,
what
you already
because
know,
I can
that's
tell you-
right.
I can tell you right now,
Exactly.
I'm the one that
Singing
started
to the choir.
implementing these.
That's right. The only other thing I want to say, and I'm not going to argue about it, but I just want to tell you, Chris, you lost like any respect I had for you at the last meeting. You came up here and I want to say like had a tantrum tantrum back and forth. And then actually Paul and Frank, neither one of you said anything to him and let him go on So I'm just saying, I feel that this, what was being discussed, which is like I said about this comp thing, should have been behind closed doors. This was not a public discussion.
Can't have meetings behind closed doors.
Well, what I'm saying is, I'm talking about where this should have been discussed.
You're having
Because
a conversation
actually,
now.
the thing is, Chris, I tell you, it was not just Ted Webb. It wasn't just up to him. There's 3 trustees. And you basically, pointed the finger at him. But I just don't think, I think you acted the wrong way for a supervisory position.
Okay, thank
That's all I
you.
have to say. Thank
Okay,
you.
13319 to recess and 13319 to recess into executive session. 6:05 to discuss the employment of Sergeant Miller for ORC 19.